Okay, maybe it's better with the sound on. I didn't have the volume on or the microphone on. So what I've done, you go over the beginning. I didn't have, it wouldn't crank over. This thing was stuck. I put oil in the cylinder and removed the spark plug, and then I reached down under and got a hold of the blade and moved it, and I could get it to move down there, but it was getting stuck. It would only go about 300 degrees, and then it would get stuck. So I figured it was under the flywheel. So I took that all apart and found the coil. It was dragging on the coil here, and then this brake. I was thinking this brake and that was the problem. So I disconnected the coil and just pulled the brake back, and it was turning freely. So the next thing I did was I cleaned up the flywheel where it runs. There was a lot of debris building up on the magnet, and I'm thinking what was happening was the brake, this brake right here was riding, and it doesn't break. I've got it pulled back now, but when it was on there, it does not stop the flywheel like it's supposed to. So it was probably riding on there and wearing on the flywheel, putting metal filings on the magnet and up against the coil, and that sitting rusted, and that's what froze it up. And now that I've got it turning, I also checked for spark, and there is no spark. The coil is definitely not putting anything out. And I've got the wire disconnected right here. This is the grounding wire, and so that coil right now should be sparking. I checked the end. Sometimes these ends are no good. This end right here, sometimes they're no good. I checked it and it still don't spark. So what I'm thinking is to try to find a coil and probably replace this, because if this is functioning, this you got to pull that handle up to make this thing work. And I think if those two in combination, if it was working correctly, it wouldn't be riding on it and wearing the filings off of it. So that's where I'm at right now. And I gotta go see what I can find as far as parts. I think I should be able to find a coil. And that little brake part, I'm not sure about that one. But if I'm lucky, we'll find that. We'll get back to you in a little bit, and next time I hope to turn the microphone on when I'm recording. Okay, I'm back. I got a new part. I'll show you the old part. This is the old part, and this is the part I got. And you can see it's a very good match. So I'm going to install the new coil and see if we can get this thing running. One of the hardest parts I find about working on these engines and stuff is, or lawnmowers and stuff, is you don't know who makes the motor. It's like a secret. And so it's very hard to find parts. You have to really do a lot of homework. All right, I got to get a spacer in there. Like that's about 3/1000. You don't want the flywheel touching the coil, and you got to bring it up to the magnet. All right. Now, take the spark plug out. I put that in there, checking compression, and it's definitely got compression. So I've got the magnet. It's up against the magnet. That's what we're trying to measure against, is the magnet, and it pulls it right in there. And you can see I've got clearance, it's not dragging on it. I am going to try to clean this brake up. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm going to try to clean it up so that it works. I could not find a replacement for it, not without buying the whole assembly, and that wasn't even available anywhere. All right. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got spark. Got spark. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get a spark plug for this thing, but let's see if it'll start. I'm going to put it together. I did not have the ground wire hooked up. Matter of fact, I probably should check that with the ground wire hooked up and see if that works before I start putting everything back together. Find my screwdriver. Okay. Trying to push this little wire down, and there's a keeper right here. Keeps that ground wire out of the flywheel and out of everything else. Let's see if this thing works. Okay, it's sparking now. So I've released the handle up there, which should cut the spark off, and it shouldn't even turn. Okay, it's still sparking. All right, it looks like there's a little spring right here. Let me get something to point with. So this is the ground wire for the coil right here, and there's a little spring right here that should be shortening this thing out. If this is going to ground, that should stop that. So let me get my meter. So right now, the handle is up. It should be off. It should have continuity. It should be shorted out, and it is. So let's see. Let's check it from here. Yeah. All right, let me take and maybe clean that up. Let's pull the lever back again. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so when the lever is up, or in the run position, this is actually up against the braking away from the metal. So let's take this wire off. Let's turn this thing over and take that off and see if we can bend it up. Get a little bit better contact, and I'll clean it. And see if you can see that. This is what I'm talking about, this little piece right here. And right there is where it makes contact, and you can see it's kind of rusty. So I'm going to clean that up. It's a little point, and it's very rusty. So I'll clean it up, and we'll put it back on and try it again. Let me go over here and clean it. Okay, I'm back, and I'll show you what I did. If you can see, it's shiny now on that point. I cleaned up that, and I also cleaned up the connector for the wire because it was corroded too. So I'm going to put it back on. But before I do that, I'm going to tilt this over. I'm going to see if I can clean that up a little bit. All right, we'll reassemble that. I'm going to bend that up, just put a little more tension on it. All right, we'll try that again. Put the meter on the thing and see if we get some kind of reading. A better reading. All right, right now, I got a good connection there. I have nothing on there, which is right. Now we're gonna check continuity. Now the switch is closed. I should have continuity, and I do. A good continuity too. So I think it'll shut it off. Let me hook that up. Hook it back onto the coil. I already got my wire hooked up over there. And if I hook my drill back up, I don't know if this is going to work because I cleaned that up, but we'll see. She's still sparking. Okay, we went from no spark to sparking all the time. And that should be shorted out now. Let me tighten it down all the way. Fix that. That's wrong. That one was loose. try again. It's still sparking. Okay, so let's try taking this off. Pretty bad. We went from having no spark to having spark all the time. I'm going to run my battery down. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ground this out. Okay, we got to get the spark plug where I can see it. I don't have 3 hands. And my assistant is not here to hold it for me. Okay, so that worked. What I need to do then, we still have a problem over here. And I think what I should have done, probably cleaned up the backside of this thing where that little notch rides. It's cold out here today, believe me. I got the heater on, but it's trying to overcome an uninsulated garage in cold outdoors. I don't even know where it might be 40 degrees, but I don't think so. So we're going to try this again, and this time disconnect the wire. Let's see. Oh, got it off over there. It's touching. It's got tension against it. So possibility that the area that is touching, I should have cleaned it. I didn't think about cleaning both sides, which I should have. It's a little bit rusty, but it's not that bad. But we'll clean it. All right, put it back together. Got good connection. Put it in here. I am not getting a good connection still to here. I'll take it apart again, and we'll get it a little bit more aggressive on that. All right, we got it. I took a file to it. It's pretty shiny now. I might have to put some grease on it because it's going to rust up again. Matter of fact, let me put some dielectric grease on it. So what I'm going to put on there is, it's called bulb grease in here, but it's dielectric grease. It means that electricity can pass through it and it still lubricates. And I'm just going to put a little dab on there because to protect the metal. And it'll help both parts. I'm going to put some on this too. Okay, now I'll put it back together again. Okay, let's try this. Now let's try the meter first before I anchor everything back down. What we're trying to do is we're trying to short out the coil when this switch is in place, and right now it's not. So, where is it? No, it is. It's in place right now. Yeah, I've got That's better. That should shut it off. Well, we'll try it. Now I've got to pull that back because I can't put that off that way down there. If I was an engineer, I would think of a better way to do this. And they might have by now, because this is, I guess those people must run their lawn mowers in indoors or super dry conditions. I'm not sure which, because this will not work any place I've ever mowed grass. Alrighty, we're going to try it again. Okay, let's check, make sure I have spark, which I should have now. Good spark. And really, right now, the brake should be on. I shouldn't be able to turn it. And I should not have spark. And I don't have spark. That's great. That's what we wanted. So let's work on putting this thing back. Let's get this out of the way. Nothing worse than having a bunch of tools in the way now. We got to get them out of here. To make sure I hook up the governor. And hopefully that'll be easy. Okay, put that in place. Plug wire is here, so it needs to be under this, underneath this. Okay, put the 3 nuts back on. Okay, I was going to tighten that bolt there, it was loose. That's good. And then we got 3 screws got to go in. 3 Phillips screws. It's nice if you have a magnetic screwdriver or one that's been magnetized to put these in. These aren't real bad, but some of them can be a real bugger. Alrighty, we are ready to put the spark plug back in. I think I'll go give it a quick clean. Get rid of a few more tools over here. Miscellaneous stuff that don't need to be here. You never want to take and just run a spark plug in. You want to make sure you get it started straight. All right, we know we've got spark. Is this going to work? It's tight. We're going to have to take that back off. The spark plug wire's got to go over the governor part. Oh, we do. Got to back up first to go forward. It looked like it needed to be underneath, so it wouldn't interfere with this. I'll show you when I get this off. It's just a minor adjustment. When I went to put the spark plug on, the wire was hitting. I'll show you that here in a second. So right here, you can see it's hitting some kind of a, it looks like it's tied to the exhaust. Who knows what they're doing there? So I'm going to pull this back. Like that. A little bit of a bend right here. Might have to put that other end on that spark plug wire. We don't want to create a problem here. And what I'm trying to do right now is form this so that it can sit like that. And that can work. This is not up against the exhaust, and it's not up against that. Yeah, I think I've got it. But if I'll run it, and it causes a problem, I'm going to change it. I'll just change the end. I'll put this end back on. I still might do that anyways. It's protected with metal. Okay. So let's check the oil while we're down this far. it's full. If anything, it's over full. So we may have to drain it out and change it. It doesn't look dirty, but it may have gas in it. And it doesn't have a choking system anywhere. It's supposed to be easy start, which means it's in the carburetor. And hopefully that's working. Pull the handle forward. Make sure I don't have hit anything behind me. And we'll give her a couple pulls and see what happens. This has an electric start on it. I might try hooking a battery up to it. She's got compression. No gas. Okay, I don't know if this is going to have enough cranking amps, so we're going to give it a shot. If not, I'm going to have to get a battery. That battery is fairly old. It's 280 cranking amps, but it's had some age on it. We'll put a charger on it. See what that does. I don't know if that's going to work either. I think I'm going to need a new battery. Uh, 2018 maybe, when I bought that battery. Okay. Oh boy, let's we're back to square one. Although it's turning, it's come up to a stop again. So let's see what happened. Let's take the spark plug out. It might have a hydraulic lock going on. Might have to drain the oil and change it. Yeah. I think we got too much oil in here. Watch out, because the oil's going to fly. I did notice that she's trying to take off. Okay, we'll try it again. I think what it was doing was actually trying to move. so it was in gear. I pulled the handle back. I'm not sure how that works. They've got all kinds of funny stuff going on here. Yeah, I'm gonna change that. I don't like that. Give it another shot. Okay, pull back, pull back. So the easy start's not starting. That would mean that the choke, there's something going on with the choking system part of it. And so I'm going to give her some go juice and see if it'll fire. And then I'll probably have to take the carburetor apart. Okay. So let me tilt this back. So the good news is it runs. The bad news is it's not getting fuel unless I spray stuff into it. So I'm going to have to take the carburetor apart next. But I was able to crank it. I was able to get it started. It is pretty full of oil. I'll probably have to change that. But first thing I'm going to do is take the carburetor apart and clean it and put it back on, and I think we can have this wrapped up. So I'm going to come back again, but right now we're going to take a pause and get in where it's a little bit warmer. I'll be back. Real quick note, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to zoom in on it. That if you look down at the carburetor, right here, let me turn this light back on, maybe we can see it a little bit better. But the fuel's running out of the carburetor. Tells me the float's stuck, and that's just probably part of the problem. So yeah, we're gonna have to take the carburetor apart and clean it, put it back together. Okay, I've taken the carburetor apart, and the carburetor is much cleaner now. I'm going to hook up the power back to the starter so I can start this thing. Let me get my charger hooked up too, because my battery's a little bit weak. Just to show you what I took out, I did clean the carburetor all up. I blew the filter off. The filter was pretty good shape, the air filter. This is the gas that came out of it. You can see it's got an amber color to it. It doesn't really smell bad. I mean, it still smells like gas and not like varnish. But I put some fresh gas in there and a little bit of seafoam. And we're ready to see if this thing's going to start. Yeah, I got my low battery. I got my charger. Got to charge it up a little bit. Okay, it runs. It's smoking quite a bit, and I think that's because the oil level is pretty high. I'm going to try starting again. I'm going to let it run for a little while, and I think that'll clear up because it burns off some of that oil. And because I did put some oil in the cylinder too, because I thought it was froze up. But definitely oil smoke. I don't know if you can see it, but the oil's way up to here. See if I got that right in front, right there, and it needs to be down here. So we're up to quite a ways. I would say that dot right there is where we should be. The oil don't smell like it's got gas or anything in it. I just think it's too full. But I'm going to let it run a little bit, let it warm up, and then I'll take and drain the oil out and bring it to the proper level. I think it'll be fine. But right now it probably needs to run and lubricate the cylinders good. Let me get some of the, just let it warm up all the way. Oh, I got Big Bertha hooked up with a battery charger. I don't know if you've seen the lights dim. It's automotive. It's an old time automotive starter, and it's got quite a kick. Okay, that is, it's running. Let me, I want to show you, if I can. This has a key start on it right here. And then this handle has to be pulled up to start it. That's where the brake was at. And this is my battery. that I use for older engines, and it's like a 2018, I think. And so I boosted it with Big Bertha, the battery jump right there, and that's what was able to crank it over. The smoke you're seeing, like I said, it's got way too much oil in it. So I'm going to drain the oil out of it. I'm going to put that metal spark plug end on it because I think it's a little bit better than what's in there now. The filter was clean, and it quit smoking once it got warmed up. So I think once I get the oil level to where it's supposed to be, I think it's going to run fine. So I'm going to say this is a success. It did not crank over when I first started, and then once I did get it started, it didn't have any spark. Or I didn't get started. Once I get turned over, it didn't have any spark. And that brake system for the flywheel, I think it slows it down, but it don't stop it right away. And other than that, if you like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I've got lots of other stuff I'm going to be working on. And just so you know, I don't know if you can see it though, on top of my truck, we got snow. A little late for Christmas, but whatever. So once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next one.